So I'm getting ready to cut new studs from the old ones that were in the crankshaft, the back of the crankshaft, but these were removed with a torch, so that means that they can't be reused. I guess I wish I could reuse them, but couldn't find actual studs themselves because, well, it's just too old of a tractor, or I just couldn't find it. So I'm just gonna have to cut bolts off, and should work because everything's, all the grooves and everything, or the threads and everything line up. So, and always when whenever you're using this, which this is actually, it's a gator blade. It's really a thin type. Always when you're using any sort of cutting tool for metal or whatever else, make sure that you have safety glasses on. Because I have had to go to the hospital from something that just fell in my eye. So this is what they are. And what I'm going to do is, when I'm going to put these in, I'm going to measure out the length of that stud. And here's something interesting to note, that the studs, if you notice, one end is longer. There's more threads on one end than there is the other. I was looking back at my pictures, making sure I knew what it was. This end goes into the crank with the little dimple or whatever. That end goes into the crankshaft. So you screw it into the crankshaft that way, and then this rounded off edge is on the outside that gets bolted onto the flywheel. So when I don't know if that's cold enough yet. Nope. When I go through and I'm going to put this on, since this is the, I'm going to take one of these bolts and tighten it up to here, and then take another one and tighten it up onto there, so that when I crank the thing down with red Loctite, you need red Loctite, this needs, or some sort of Loctite that you have to get off with a torch. But once these are screwed into here, I'm going to screw it in up to that point, and then the other one on top of there, so that I get the exact length, the correct length and stuff. So anyways, that's it. And that is the finished product. There's a couple threads, a little bit of length on there, not, but it's pretty dang close. Well, I had to take a break for a few days from what I was doing, because I got that 4th Moderna shot and it kind of kicked me in the butt. However, on the plate, get the light out of the way. On the plate, the thrust plate itself, you can see there's supposed to be a key here, and there wasn't one when I took everything off. So I'm going to try and make one, which I'm just going to be using, what's this called? C channel. That's a 1/8, but I'm going to have to shape it down a little bit. And cut off, whatever. So, I can't believe I had to need this much just to get one little key. Because they don't make them smaller, at least not around here. Anyways, here you go. Now I just wanted to explain the reason why I chose a piece of metal that was already pre-bent is because once, if you could probably do it with just a regular pin, but the pins that I could find, they were just too thick. It doesn't matter anyways, but once you try to bend a piece of metal for that pin, because I don't want this to come out, and I want this to slide inside of there. But once you try to bend that piece of metal, it's going to soften the metal and it's gonna break easier. Well, this one's already bent, so, and I don't really have the tools or whatever that I would need in order to do it correctly, so I just go with what I got. So right now, so there's the Woodruff key that I made after I got done. Had to get it pretty thin. I actually made it almost exactly to fit inside of there and not be able to move, so see how it slips right down inside of there? Can't fit anywhere else, just right there. That should be enough. Can't get down any further. That should be enough. Then I'm not gonna have to worry about it. So bend this a little this way. Yep. And quite frankly, I might not even need a key. But I don't know if the gear had been shifted back some, so I have no idea if possibly it, without the key or whatever, it pushed it back while it was going around. I have no idea, but this way at least, and see, got that down there, and it's not going to budge. It's not going to pull out or anything. So it's nice and solid, because the one that I made before was out of the other brass plate. And me and the repair guy down the road kind of thought that maybe it was going to be a little too not strong enough. Question for anyone out there who knows anything about Ferguson tractors, or why they were made the way, or at least the TO20 and TO30. On the TO20, or on the TO20, it has this exact same thrust plate, but it's rounded, completely rounded here. On the TO30, they got this cut off, and me nor the guy down the road can figure out why. I mean, seriously, just why in the world is it cut here, but it's not cut on the 20? I just, no, I don't know. Is it for one of the brass pins or something so they can stick out down there? I don't know. But anyways, if somebody has any idea about that, let me know. Alright. So before I get too far into the putting this all back together, I wanted to point something out. There's two Woodruff keys, and they're both different, at least for this one. Yeah. You can see that right there. One has a ledge on it, one does not. And it took me a while to figure this out. I'm going to be including a picture also to help anybody else out. But just by going by that picture, it's showing that the one with the ledge goes in the front, and then the one without the ledge goes in the back, probably because the one in the back gets covered over pretty well with all the pieces, the gear, and all the washers and stuff, and then the one in the front just goes around with the pulley. So yeah, in case anybody has the same issue, and I'm not even sure if it matters later on, but in case you do, just so you know, the one with the ledge goes in the front, and then the one without goes in the back. Okay, so here we go. It depends how long I'm going to last out here. It's, I don't know, 28, 25 or something like that. My fingers are already pretty frozen. Okay, there's that. So, I'm going to try this again. I shaved it down a little bit more right here in the front. It's gonna, maybe that'll fit inside of there better, but I wanted to show you what is supposed to, with the two thrust washers in there instead of the bearing thrust. These are what is supposed to fit inside here in between the thrust washer back here and this thrust plate, because they're made for taking up the end play, or gauging it out. But with the flanges on the bearing, it's not needed. And like this might not be needed either. Not a clue. Okay. That should work. Don't know why that won't work. Ooh, that might work out good. If this doesn't break. That holds it. Does it hold it there? Yeah, that holds it. Nice. That should be flat enough for the gear. And this, that's sitting down so that if it did want to come out, it could. Now, let's see. I'll check make sure everything is still good. Oh yeah, easy. And make sure that's ground flat too. Woodruff Key. That'll work. And that slides back and gives it enough space. Cool. Might have to shave that down a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. That's it. Back to everything else. Alright, so I'm going to be getting the gear into place, and a couple things to note on this. Here's a manual, or a diagram from a manual that I have that shows, this top one's a TO30, this is the TO20, and obviously the TO20 is the one without the, this is the diagram, basically if you didn't have the flanges on the bearings. Well, I do, so that one is not needed, of course, which I already said, and the shims, the thrust shims. I had those things around here somewhere, but I don't have them right now. Those thrust shims are not needed. So basically, yeah, that's just how it all goes back together. So next one. Alright, so, oh, and the other thing about this is, when you put this back in, make sure these holes are out. They're threaded on the inside. I believe they're used for when you need to pull it out. It's part of the puller. You screw bolts in and then you pull it out that way. I'm not positive, but anyways, yeah. And for this, oh, here they are. Alright. These are the shims. There's 4 of them that I think are 3/1000ths and 4 that are 7/1000ths. These are the thicker ones. You can see how thick they are. And then the really skinny ones, these are just floppy. But yeah, these are originally used to take away the end play, but they're not required anymore. Some oil. Now to do this, I'm going to be using let's get that right in there, 1.5-inch socket. Hopefully it's going to be long enough. So I believe it was Bundy Bear that said it's a good idea to have that, oh, it's on the floor, on the ground. It's a good idea to have that other pin in when you're putting this in, because so it goes in correctly. So there's no reason to have it out anyways. You're probably be better off with an 1 3/4 inch socket, but this is all that I have. Now the reason why I put this on before I put the cam in, and I put the oil pump on is because they both have the pulleys on them. I didn't take in my rebuild, I didn't take the pulley off of the old cam. I'm reusing the same old cam because it's not worn or anything. It's just, you know, it's fine. But and if you see, let's see, for the timing on this, let's get this a little bit closer. Sorry about the light. So I switched cameras. Probably gonna be using this from now on. I just got this video cam, and hold on. Don't do that with the. I just got this video cam, and I didn't have a way to save a card for it, so I had to order a card, and that's why I was using the other camera, because the other camera is just a regular Canon digital camera, so it's not great for it, but it worked for what it did. But you can see on the crank gear, that is the pin for the time, or the notch for the timing right there. And on the cam gear right there, see it? So I'm just gonna have to line those up, and it's probably a lot easier to line those up without without it all being connected anyways. But yeah, this moves rather easily. I mean, of course it's difficult with the new bearings, but I can move it myself rather easily, so I'm not worried about that. And how much, I wonder how much. I think that'll work. Now I just gotta see. Alright, I'm gonna set this thing up. Okay, the next piece that goes in is this right here. It goes in just like that. But you know what? I'm not going to do that one before I put the cam in. You know what? I shouldn't do. These plastic rags, just regular rags from the stupid Harbor Freight. I mean, guys, if you want to do something quality, do not go to Harbor Freight. Because those stupid rags, they leave red, just little red pieces all over the place when you're trying to clean with them. Jeez. You know, I don't... Harbor Freight's okay for some things. Like some tools. I mean, there's air tools and stuff that I get from Harbor Freight, but there's just other things. Like I said, those stupid rags. See all the red stuff right there? It just leaves it everywhere. Nothing against Harbor Freight, but, well, I can't say that. I should probably be oiling everything in here. That's just what I'm gonna do. You know what? Nope, I'm not gonna do that right now. Yeah. Why I'm having to wipe it out is because all the metal shavings and stuff when I was grinding down those pins got inside of here, so that's why this was covering the grooves inside of here, because they're ending up in there. I'm going to blow this out as well, but I can do that later. But doing this right now, just cleaning it out. Ouch. Fingers are hurting. Alright. There. Alright. Now, before it goes into place, I gotta get this lined up correctly. Let's see, pins here. I'm getting cold. Yep, back here. Screwdriver. Here. Alright, so I need to go quite a ways. Just say I don't need that pen. Alright, taking a break. Alright, we're gonna go with that. Get this just right there. Should be, yep, that's it right there. So I think this is the pistons making it difficult. Which is fine. It's good. This thing had no compression before, so my apologies for stopping so much. I can't see what I'm doing. I can't see that other side. I'm only doing this with a screwdriver, so it's a bit of a pain in the butt. There's the pins. Okay. Still coming out. Come on. Good enough. Cool. That I can deal with. Of course, if I did all that, I probably should have put oil down the sleeves, but didn't think about it. Well, I did put oil down them before, so it's not like I did this completely dry. They don't sound like they're doing well with their truck. Sounds like either I don't know, sounds more like a, oh, is that a chip? No, it's not. Sounds like a exhaust leak, exhaust issue with that. So yeah, I can go ahead and put those. Let's see, am I still, yeah, I'm still up close. Let's pull out some. These, here we go. These are the screws. I mean, there's no, they have no torque. And you do not want to tighten these things down. I mean, these are kind of just snug, but they are what hold the camshaft into place as soon as I get it twisted to one of the right bolt holes with my handy dandy screwdriver. So, what I'm going to do is, this is not red Loctite. This is just Loctite in a red container. Weirdo. Testing out this truck, but I'm just putting normal. This is just thread lock, Loctite. But let me see, make sure I'm getting that on cam. Yep. Alright, so that's enough for one. And these are not easy to put in. Alright, to put these in, I'm using a 1/2 inch, and yeah, I gotta use a regular 1/2 inch die. Alright, so I switched tactics. I'm using just a magnetic end here. Now, like I said, I just hit the end of it. You know what, I'm not going to tighten it up. Not until I get the other one on. Got a little bit of the stuff on there, and now I gotta turn this back. Point of advice, don't tighten anything up before you get the second one on. Now I only went like a quarter turn after that. Trust me, these are just tiny little itty bitty bolts. They don't need to be torqued on. I mean, wrenched on. I mean, whatever the lightest torque I could probably put on this torque wrench, probably going to be too much. No, other way. Okay. Okay, now just there. Quarter turn. I think that's going to be it for tonight.